back on 2QQ. Today, we'll be discussing news that's making fans' hearts bloom like spring flowers. Wang, Yibo, and Xiao Zhan's families have finally given their full blessing to their relationship. After a long period of scrutiny, rumors, support, and pressure, their love has found a safe space to breathe. This moment feels like the end of a long journey marked by silent struggles, as well as the beginning of a new, happier chapter. This journey began long before the news of their blessing surfaced. It all began with their first meeting on set, when both were still busy balancing their respective careers. No one could have imagined that a project bringing together two great talents would grow into such a strong and deep relationship. Their on-screen chemistry was already natural, but who knew that their warmth was more than just acting? As the days went by, their togetherness outside of filming became more and more visible. Whether it was captured on camera by fans, cryptic posts, or just a tender glance captured in an interview, all the small details became pieces of a puzzle that slowly formed a picture. These two cared for each other in an unusual way. Fans began to hope, but they also held on to that hope, fearing that it was all just a dream. Over time, their relationship was tested by many things. Public pressure was one of the hardest to ignore. Their fame carried unseen consequences. Every smile, every look, every small gesture could become headline. Yet amidst it all, they still chose each other. There was a quiet strength in the way they persevered, as if they had already agreed that what they had was worth fighting for. Wang Yibo was known for being cold and mysterious. He rarely expressed his feelings openly, but beneath that reserved demeanor, he hid a deep sincerity. Xiao Zhan, on the other hand, possessed a warmth like light. His smile could melt tension, and his presence made people feel safe. The two were like two complementary elements, cold and warm, calm and gentle. And perhaps that was where the magic lay. As fans began to realize that this relationship was more than just a rumor, an outpouring of support poured in. But not only support, but also criticism and pressure from those who didn't understand. It took great courage to stand tall when the world seemed divided between support and rejection. That's where family becomes the last hope. Family blessing is key to everything. News that Xiao Zhan's family warmly welcomed Wang Yibo came first. A close source said that Xiao Zhan introduced Yibo slowly, not with grand statements, but through small, everyday stories. How Yibo worked hard, how he cared for those around him, and how he was always there when needed. Xiao Zhan's family saw this sincerity and finally opened the door. Meanwhile, Wang Yibo's notoriously protective family also needed time to truly understand this relationship. They knew the enormous burden Yibo carried as a public figure. However, when they saw how Xiao Zhan helped Yibo become softer, more relaxed, and happier, their hearts softened. Their blessing wasn't given because of popularity or fan demands, but because they saw that their son's happiness was genuine. The most touching moment came when the two families finally met. It was a simple meeting, without a big party or cameras. Just a warm conversation in a quiet room. There was nothing to prove. No masks. Just two people who loved each other, standing in the midst of a family that finally accepted. Fans who heard the news celebrated with joy. Social media was filled with congratulations, fan art, memorable videos, and warm messages. It was as if the world was smiling along with them. Many fans felt that this wasn't just a love story, but proof that sincerity can overcome fear, pressure, and doubt. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan's love story is a story of small steps that ultimately become a long journey. They never felt the need to announce anything grandly. They simply lived, accompanied each other, and let time answer the questions that didn't need to be rushed. Family blessing isn't the end. It's the beginning of a more peaceful life, with a stronger foundation. The beginning of days that can be lived without hiding happiness. The beginning of a future that can be planned with smiles, not anxiety. They've been through a lot. Public misunderstanding, endless rumors, industry pressures, and their own inner struggles. But in the end, these things have only strengthened their relationship. Like fire testing gold, their love now shines brighter. For the loyal fans who support them, this is a shared victory. You are witnesses to the growth of this relationship, from its uncertain beginnings to its beautiful bright spot. You're the reason they stay strong, keep smiling, and keep going. Some might ask, why does a story like this mean so much to so many people? The answer is simple, because we all want to believe that true love still exists. We want to know that even though life is often hard, there is still room for warmth. And Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan demonstrate that through the way they silently care for each other, without many words, but full of actions that speak much deeper. There's a moment fans often remember, the moment they laughed together for no apparent reason. It wasn't just any laugh, but the laughter of someone who felt comfortable with the person beside them. Laughter that wasn't feigned, not forced by a camera or a script. Laughter that grew from a closeness built little by little, day by day. Moments like these may be small, but they're the ones that leave the most lasting impression. Now that the blessing has been given, many fans hope this relationship will continue to grow without major obstacles. But one thing to remember, happiness doesn't always have to be flaunted. There are many more beautiful things when kept just for oneself and the person they love. We, as viewers on this journey, simply support them with an open heart, without forcing them to show more than they're ready to share. And ultimately, this story teaches us that love doesn't need to be rushed. It comes in time when the heart is ready to receive it. Just like Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, who ultimately discovered that true happiness isn't about how quickly their relationship goes public or how much public attention it receives, but about how they care for each other every day. Because love isn't about possessing, but about holding on together, as calm as the wind, as strong as roots, and as sincere as smiles that greet each other without words. And for those new to this story, I hope you can feel the sincerity that's so evident in each of their steps. Because love isn't about how loud someone screams, but about how deeply someone can endure. Now, as we close the story, we don't end it with a period, because their journey continues. We simply rest for a moment in the warmth of the pages, before moving on to the next chapter. May the days ahead bring more laughter than tears, more hugs than worries, and more beautiful stories that can make us say, love isn't easy, but it's always worth fighting for. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to continue supporting the 2Cuckoo channel because we have many more heartwarming stories to share. See you in the next story.